Well, do we have something that is probably the most interesting thing that I've seen circulating on Instagram or Facebook? And that's where I first saw this photo was on Instagram. And I screenshot it and I asked the person who posted this, "Hey, where is this?" And he told me it was like some river, but honestly, I don't he didn't even know. And this was like a couple years ago or so, or maybe at least a year ago when I saw this photo, and it popped up again on Facebook, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna freaking figure this thing out. I'm gonna figure out exactly where this place is at because it looks like arches. You cannot lie. That looks straight up like arches, like like those like the Roman aqueducts, but it's completely symmetric. It's pretty much all even. And so, well, let's go ahead and bring out the Google search image, Google image search, and it gave me a bunch of other things that looked like it, like this right here. But that's not it. I mean, that might be something else pretty interesting to look at, but that's not this. So let's go back up and let's see. Oh, I think yeah, this one right here looks. Let's take a look. And wow, yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is, I don't want to get copyrighted, so I put some blur on it and I took out the color, and so we'll see how this goes. I don't know where I'm going to upload it. It might have to be Rumble or I don't know, maybe straight up Facebook. If it's on YouTube, it might actually get copyrighted by the person who made this. But I just want y'all to know that if there's a place that looks super, super interesting like this, and you can't find, look at that. That just looks absolutely man-made or whatever, but not natural. It's all even. It looked like it was moving. And apparently this mountain range changes colors in the daytime. But here you can see what I think, it was kind of like the first thing that came to my mind were these Roman, or what they call Roman arches, of course made in bricks. And it looks pretty close because it's all uniformed. It looks pretty much exactly like what that would have been. Here is another possibility of what they could have been. I know it sounds a little ridiculous to be calling entire mountains something like this, but it's no denying that it really does look like this, though. And don't let your eyes fool you. I mean, your eyes can compute what it's looking at like a freaking computer. And so don't let your brain, that has been brainwashed, trick your eyes. So the reason why I say that these could be arches is because of that. I mean, come on now. I cannot be the only one who's thinking that. Oh, anyways, so yeah, as I was saying, like I know it's a little crazy to be thinking that entire mountains could have been massive structures, but you have to look at what is available now as far as a built structure and what is supposedly nature. Because if these were all structures from, let's say, like a million years ago, or 20,000, 30, 50,000, 100,000 years ago, if whatever could have happened there. I mean, there has been technology to turn things into stone, and there's even pieces of wood that have been petrified like within 30 years or less. It's just temperatures, the climate, whatever exterior event happened to make these stone buildings turn into crumbly rocks. I mean, they look like the churches, like those steeples and that connect to each other. And of course, maybe like over time, earthquakes may have crumbled some of these things away, and so that's why it doesn't really look like a castle. But it's like it's almost just right in your face. Like there's a reason why people come out here and take a drone and spend thousands of probably US dollars equivalent to come out here, and you can see those steeples poking out of the mud or the rubble. And this is just a perfect example of Tartaria. It's this beautiful mountainside that was probably huge mountains, and now it's just overrun by the wilderness and the trees. Just, that's what nature does. Nature takes over, and so now we're about to take over and take to the skies to see how much Google will show us. They have already allowed us to see all those photos from Google Maps and YouTube and drones and stuff like that. So I don't think they really think we think what we think. I can't even say that again, but as I'm trying to not pick the location, let's find the location. Because that lady in the video gave me the exact town name or whatever. The weird thing is these spaces that have no population at all, they have names on them like towns, like as if they used to be a town, but now it's just nothing. So really what I'm doing is I'm going based off of Google Maps and that town, and I'm trying to match up the streams and the land in between the streams so that I can find out exactly where I need to be doing my exploration. Because there is no airport around here. There's nothing around here. Like, I should be seeing some dots of some towns, and I just don't see that. So it's just been completely wiped off of the face of the earth. And this is straight up smack dab in the middle of Tartaria. This would be called Tartar Grande, or the Grand Tartary, or the Grand Tartary Empire, or whatever you want to call it. This is Tartaria. This was Tartaria. This is Siberia, currently Russia. So with that in mind, I'm not taking this helicopter because I have a feeling it's gonna take a long time. So let's get into something quick, and let's get into something that is not American, because we are in Russia. So I like to kind of role play a little bit and pretend like maybe I'm a, whatever. Anyways, here's a Russian jet, the MiG, and we're going to use the black star or the red star livery. I mean, doesn't this thing look freaking sick? Look at that. But pay attention to this, because if you do want to look at it again on Google Earth or Google Maps, then go ahead and freeze frame that and take a picture or a screenshot. And this is the area that I'm in right now exploring. It's real-time weather at this time of filming, and I mean, what can I say? It's a 1-to-1 ratio. This is basically the size. If we were flying, this is literally what we would be seeing, except actually I don't think we would literally be seeing this. I think if we were a little bit closer, we'd be seeing some of those structures. And look at the land. Look how it just looks like there's just a bunch of water that just gushed, and it's kind of like went into those little creeks and rivers there. They're probably big rivers, but it just looks like there was just a whole bunch of water that just completely consumed this whole area, wiped everything away, flushed it all down into the creeks and rivers. And that's why this grass and the terrain kind of looks like this. And it looks exactly like this too on Google Maps. I mean, it's pretty much spot on. We're about to get to the good stuff. So we're headed east from our direction. I tend to pay attention on where I spawn my plane. That way I know exactly where to go, because I could just be flying around for hours and hours and just never really know where I'm at. But here we go. Here's what we're starting to see in the anomalies. is we're starting to get to the good area, and now they just blanket it with these green tree and dirt brown patches. You can see where the terrain was perfectly fine, and now it's perfectly not. And once we get past this area, it will be perfectly fine again. So we're in the middle of Tartaria. This right here, this spot right there, this is the spot that we should be seeing those arches and crazy like plateaus. I think one of the Russian words I noticed was like the word for plateau. And here in America, we already know what that means, right? That means table, of course. But in the mud flood terminology, plateau is basically freaking. Okay, so it could have either been like a huge tree that got cut down, it's all huge and flat, or it could have been an old building that got flattened and completely demolished. We've seen plenty of that in Monument Valley. Is those tall tower like, you know, wood? I mean, rock structures, and then they're completely flat up top. So yeah, the word plateau to us is already pretty fishy. So yeah, I mean, here we're gonna do a little trick. I don't know if y'all remember this one video I did where I looked away and then looked back, and boom, you can see the river. You see the dirt where those other pictures were of those huge monuments, but yet they want to cover it up. I mean, it's completely obvious. There's nothing wrong with the satellite. Someone made a comment. It wasn't in our group. It was in some other group I shared one of the videos in, and they were like, "Oh, you know, dude, it's just the different satellites, right?" Well, no, dude. Do you see this happening right now? Like, I mean, it's, you know, they're literally covering up land. I mean, and look at that. That there should be no blur there. What's underneath that whole blur? There's definitely something there. I don't know what it is. To me, obviously, I think it has to be impossible for them to freaking hide. It has to be a bunch of right angles and circles and maybe pyramids. Google Maps. I mean, don't even think about trusting actual Google Maps. I mean, so I'll tell you something about Google Maps. Over in China, they are and watch this too. You can see what I'm doing. You can see everything that just disappears. Well, China, they don't want other countries they would consider as their enemies, which is any other country, to be able to invade them by ground. So what they did is, and maybe I'll make a video about this showing you, is they have two different kinds of ways. I mean, they have two different maps. They have one that's for Google Maps and us, and then they have theirs. They don't even want their own people to know how to get somewhere. They hide freaking Google Maps from their own people. Chinese government does, because they don't want their own Chinese people to go out and explore or to go do anything. As a matter of fact, it's super hard not only to get a vehicle in China, but to leave the county or the province that you were born in or work in. Like, it's not like a place here in America where you can just drive around and tour. You know, it's not like the United Kingdom where you can just get in your car or your lorry and just go to the countryside and go take a look at ancient sites. There's no exploration over in China. You're not allowed to go do anything there. How I know about this whole map thing is way back when COVID was first starting, and like Samsung or Apple or someone, they had to close down their plant. And actually what they were doing is because they weren't allowed to have their employees work, they just weren't paying their employees. So employees weren't getting paid. Well, finally there was a strike, and so they went ahead and fired everyone. They literally laid off whole buildings of people. And these people were like basically from other provinces. They were from the rural countryside. and they didn't know how to get home because the map system was just all messed up. So don't trust Google, because Google hides as much as anybody else, if not more. Um, all this right here, like, it looks like scarification, like maybe electrical scarification, or something just crazy, because I see these exact striations and markings in every single continent. Um, like Australia, for instance, and America too. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end. That was pretty much it. I'm going to end the video with a bunch of these awesome pictures that I got from Google Maps, because these are actual photos. There's no hiding and doctoring these. Look at these steeples just poking out of the dirt. So look at that. It looks as if like water came down, pushed a whole bunch of dirt, and now it's in between those steeples. I'm just saying, that's maybe what I think by what it looks like. I'm not going based off any other information, because this is the first time I've ever studied this area. I'm not even studying it. You know what I mean? Like, I just saw that one photo and it's led me to all of this. I found that one photo. I actually found out where it was at, and it has even more stuff. That's crazy. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it. I don't really have too much else to talk about on this, but I did want to show you how vast this area is. And this is straight up Tartaria, and that was just that one area. There was this, I don't know, maybe it's coming up, but it's coming up. This next picture, I think, it actually talks about this city or actually the name of this monument. They literally call it a monument. They say there's 10 towers that tower above, or whatever. Just screenshot that or save what's coming up next, and they tell you to your face, like, these are monuments. But whatever. So anyways, enjoy the rest. Peace.